I think maybe the live shows probably should be what. However, I think you should still have the guys coming out and like cutting promos and stuff, but actually like doing full blown matches. I just don't see a point to it. Like build up the stories, have some rivalries backstage. But this, like you said, really is a true off season for pro wrestling, and start filming a bunch of stuff for the WWE Network. I mean, that's what it's there for.
100% agree. You know? Like the stuff they're doing with the it's called the Ruthless Aggression Era. I don't know if you've seen that on the network, but it's like mini documentaries of different either factions or time. Like they did one on Cena, Evolution. They did this on like little patches of stories from that early 2000s era. And it's like, take your people, film them in like they're by themselves in these rooms when they're doing the interviews, as long as they're cleared and nobody's sick, obviously, or anything. And now it's mandated; they can't have gatherings before. So it's not like AEW 2 weeks ago. They had some of the wrestlers at ringside during it, which I thought was great. I enjoyed it because you could still get some sort of participation involved with people outside. Now they can't do that, so now it's even worse. Because now it's like that. Although it was great that Matt Hardy, Chris Jericho confrontation they had on this past week's AEW, it's half as good as it could be. Even if it's excellent, it's still half as good because we don't have that crowd to feed off of. So as well as it's compelling television, I get it. It's acting, stuntmen who can act. But on the same token, when it comes to stuff that needs to be in front of a crowd, especially like you said with the matches, you definitely got to pause those. Like all these WrestleMania moments that you would supposedly have, they're moments because the crowd is going wild with them, and I just don't feel like this is going to be a good idea in my opinion.
Chris Jericho cutting the promo on Vanguard 1 was gold, though. That was hilarious.
I've still yet to see that. I've caught the end of it before. I've seen Hardy appearing and reappearing down there, but I had a friend tell me that him yelling at the drone was hysterical, and I still got to catch footage of that. I got to find it.
Yeah, it was pure gold. I mean, I've said it before. I'll say it again. Chris Jericho is the greatest of all time. Anybody who can put over a drone in an empty arena, I mean, that guy is money. Great work right there. But the one thing I do disagree with is why are they going forward with WrestleMania? I mean, to me, it's like you cancel WrestleMania, you shoot some promos, you shoot some WWE Network stuff, and then once this is all blown over and people can start going out, then you have WrestleMania, right? And that's going to be huge because everyone's going to want to go out and see it because they can finally go out and see it, and it'll just be like even that much more enormous. But, I mean, and apparently the word backstage is Vince McMahon is the only person who wanted to move forward with WrestleMania. Everybody else said, no, we need to cancel.
Yeah, and it's not even cancel the right word, like pause it. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. It's just on hiatus, waiting. Yeah, if WrestleMania takes place and it's a little bit later in the year, nobody's going to give a shit. They're not going to be mad or anything. Yes, the content's great, but there's so many things like podcasts that we're doing here, even itself. There's content that's going to be available. Plus, to put it on a grander scale, WWE has a plethora of footage they could, release or redo or put documents. You don't have to have nothing out on your TV shows. There's always stuff you can provide. People cutting promos from home until the WrestleMania takes place. You keep those feuds alive, or do you hit the reset button as far as when they come back and you resume the stories? This isn't necessary. I definitely disagree with going through this like this is like his I'm bucking the system type of statement. I just don't agree with it. It's not really WrestleMania without the crowd there.
All right, here we go. Here's Chris Jericho's the drone incident.
Come on down, Matt Hardy.
You hear that?
I see that.
There he is.
Yes.
And it's not Matt Hardy.
Ominous humming. Huh.
It is our West Coast correspondent. It is Vanguard.
So there he is.
Is he talking?
Vanguard 1. I'm glad you showed up, Guard. Because I got a couple things I want to tell you. First of all, I don't like you.
He's looking at a drone.
I don't like
He's looking at a drone,
and
he's talking into the camera.
I don't appreciate your political views.
The drone sounds like a bunch of bees flying around.
You're a piece of shit, Vanguard.
Political views.
Yeah, you heard me.
I think
You're a
Chris
piece of trash.
has lost it.
And even though I don't like you,
Well,
I respect you.
He's talking to this drone.
And that's why I'm asking you
No way.
to join the inner circle.
okay,
No
we
way.
Think about it, Vanguard.
Is this supposed to be a
All
live
the
event for
power
them too?
will lie
Yes.
in the propellers.
Yes, it is.
Your propellers will be spinning.
He wants
With all the
everybody.
money you're going to make, we'll be pouring bubbly right down your gas tank. All those Instagram drone models will be flocking around wherever you go. You'll be smoking the finest of mechanical cigars. Come on, Vanguard. For old time's sake.
Well, because he's talking to a drone.
You are witnessing
say?
this. Chris Jericho's asking
Join
a
the inner
drone.
I want to
drone
see him
Vanguard.
wrestle the drone.
Huh?
I think that's a no.
What do you say, man? Okay, no, fly this way. Hey!
Vanguard turning the other cheek.
You come back here,
Absolutely.
Vanguard!
Turning his back
You
on.
come back here, you son of a bitch!
Come on,
You're gonna
Chris.
regret this!
No means no. He said no.
Tell me that,
It said no.
You tell...
Oh, man.
I think he's going to talk to someone else here now.
Is it another drone?
No, Hardy's gonna appear. I think.
It was 1 week
Is
ago.
Oh,
that just a clip?
Hardy appears. He's in the top banisters. He's definitely a 6 foot distance. He's social distancing for sure.
Social distancing, Matt Hardy.
That's the top. They're in the middle.
Oh, now he's in the middle. They're doing like camera effects where they cut it.
Did he just? How in the world? Did he just? He's in the lower part. Come on now.
You got to be announcers. You got to be so dorky. Like, what the fuck are you trying to do?
You know, as dorky as it is and as ridiculous and over the top as it is, it just gives me some strange comfort to hear Tony Schiavone on the announce table again. I don't get it, but I really enjoy him announcing.
Yeah,
So glad he's back.
I think the whole AEW culture is just really great for wrestling. I think it allows the creative juices of the wrestlers themselves to flow, gives hope to the guys who are still under WWE contract that are one day hoping to go over there. And you got all these guys now. You got Hardy, who basically just a month ago was still trapped in WWE, wasn't allowed to be this character that he made famous a few years back that took the whole internet wrestling world by storm. And then now, Vince McMahon basically wants to pay these wrestlers to sideline them, so he can only put out the versions he wants of there. And then these guys are, sure they want to get paid, but now they got getting paid and being able to do stuff at, like this, like Hardy bringing back his broken character with Brody Lee, the former Luke Harper, now finally able to be himself and wrestle. It's just good for wrestling in general.
Definitely. I agree 100%.
And see, that's the thing. I think if they end up cutting out wrestling and they don't do any of these events that people want to see, then they're going to lose fans for sure. So they got to do these little, and it doesn't have to be full blown like 45-minute matches. They could just have little quick matches and just kind of go for it and just get people still biting into the storyline before they can get back into the doing the live shows. So
just give them a little taste,
Yeah.
Well, this is the perfect opportunity to do like a Hardy compound match. If the people are cleared and there's nobody with a virus and stuff, he's got a large, like whatever, him and Jeff live on the 40 acres in Cameron, North Carolina. They've done the deletion matches, the final deletion and Decay, Delete or Decay. They did the thing with Ultimate Deletion with Bray Wyatt. Now AEW has the opportunity to have like Jericho versus Hardy on the compound if they wanted to do that. And that could carry a whole episode of Dynamite if they had to do that.
Definitely. I agree. I really enjoyed all the compound stuff that they did.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's hysterical. I mean, it's stuff that McMahon just didn't get. That's why we didn't get to see it on WWE television. McMahon didn't get it. He didn't. Everybody else enjoyed the hell of it, and Matt Hardy on the Jericho's podcast just a couple of weeks back was talking about like how everybody in the production meeting was laughing their ass off or enjoyed it, and Vince McMahon is looking around like, I don't get it, but if it's getting ratings, but he didn't get it, and as soon as he had a chance to pull the plug on it, it was a shame because there were so many good ideas that Hardy and Bray Wyatt were going to do before Bray Wyatt was rebooted. They threw all these ideas out to McMahon and all the other people, and they kept getting shut down or ignored. And there was just so many good things we missed out on because it's Vince McMahon's baby. I get it. He wants to do what he wants to do, but that's why it's great that AEW exists. It's an alternative.
Yeah, I agree 100%. That was the whole Matt Hardy Bray Wyatt feud was a hugely missed opportunity on WWE's part. I mean that
100%.
Could have been a massive money drawing feud, and just like you said, Vince didn't get it, man. So his loss.
Well, yeah, one of the funniest things he said is that he wanted to do stuff after Bray Wyatt was quote unquote purged of Abigail in that lake of reincarnation. He was supposed to be like, they pitched an idea of having Bray like a hobo, like kind of a lost soul. He comes with his gear on a stick or something, comes to the compound and says, I have nowhere else to go. And then they kind of put him to work on the compound, and he like is being integrated into a member of the Hardy family, House Hardy. And it just sounded like that would just been hysterical to see some of that stuff. It's just a shame that they kind of dropped the ball on that whole storyline and utilizing Hardy to its fullest. And instead of paying him to be nothing or just keep him as a mid-carder, it's just great that Hardy has this opportunity to still get paid, take care of his family, and give us this great character again under the AEW banner where now he can, he has so much creative input on it. This is exactly where he belongs.
So, yeah, definitely. So what do you think Jeff said with WWE?
Well, Jeff's trapped under contract, I think, because he got injured. They extended. He should have been out of his contract, but WWE extended it due to injury, and now I think what Matt alluded to is he almost has another whole year left because he was out for almost a year.
Oh wow! Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, you won't see Brother Nero anytime soon. It's not because of him and his choice. He basically has to fulfill his end of the contract. Hardy wasn't wrestling the whole time, but he said he could have. They didn't use him in those times where he never claimed he was like hurt. So he was able to, even though he had the hip issues and stuff too, he was never said I was incapable of wrestling. That's how he explained that he had the opportunity to leave when his contract was up, basically.
Yeah. So what do you think? I thought it was weird when they're writing Matt Hardy off of WWE TV. I thought it was so weird that Matt Hardy would go out to try to defend Edge against Randy Orton, the guy who basically stole his girlfriend, and now he's out there trying to defend him. I thought that was extremely weird. What did you think about that?
Yeah, I think he did a great job with the promo.
Oh, yeah.
Randy and everything and stuff. It's just, yeah, he did his best to try to explain it that, that he had almost, I want to say, forgiven Edge, but, he understood Edge's passion being taken away from him and stuff. And, yeah, if you think about it, it is kind of a bizarre way that you had this guy defending him who somehow shouldn't really still be friends with him. But, for real, he doesn't hold any grudges on him. I mean, if, looking at their interactions on, I think, Edge and Christian's old podcast, Hardy was on there and they were getting along, so yeah. It's not like impossible, like he hates his guts for the rest of his life. I think they both moved on,
Well, I think the real winner of that situation ultimately was Lita because she's not with either one of them.
Or loser, depending on your lookout.
Or loser, yeah. And both of them are both happily married and have, I guess, moved on from the Lita train, I guess.
Yeah, man, Lita's doing a band in Georgia, I think. So
the Lita band.
The Lita band.
Forget what her name of her band was.
Broken. It's called Broken Neck.
Featuring Trish Stratus.
Yeah.
Well, she was doing some performance center stuff too. I don't know if she's still doing that now, but I know she was she was involved with backstage with the